What's the worst that can happen if somebody doesn't have malaria and is treated for malaria?
That is a bad thing that should not happen, because the presentation that they confuse for malaria could be for other dangerous, very life-threatening elements.
Such as?
It could be pneumonia, for instance, just coming. It could be other, they're quite a long list we will not want to mention here, but I will call it life-threatening conditions, which may come with initial fevers, initial headache, initial, what you want to describe, or maybe body weakness that is just emerging.
Okay, let me give you, I mean, it's a very practical situation. A child comes down with a fever and he's shaking. It's night and nobody knows where to go. So the mom and dad say, well, let's treat him for malaria, because they are scared. They don't want the condition to exacerbate before morning beyond what somebody can handle. And I mean, they think, what's the worst that can happen? If it's not malaria, we're treating for something else. But if it's malaria, we can't just fold our arms. What do you say about that?
Very good. So you still have strategies as well that has been put in place. They call it, initially it used to be called home treatment of malaria. Malaria using role model, and now they have the community-oriented resource persons strategy, where mothers would have been trained. At those times, when they have this episode, what could they do? Of course, if they suspect at that time, oh, it's good because malaria could kill, and they have malaria medicine at home, at that condition, if there is no place for care, of course, you want to use what you have at home. They could do that.
Okay.
But again, where you have the resource persons, the community-oriented resource persons now who've been training communities, then a test is done first. And that will begin the first step.
Now, we discussed before, and you were so concerned about this over-treatment something. A lot of moms give their children malaria drugs before they go back to boarding school. How can someone blame them? They are so scared that if the child comes down with malaria in school and they are not there, maybe delay in treatment could cause a problem. It could make it a complicated issue. Or, person may not be able to do his exams and all that. What is the solution to this? Because I'm quite sure that over-treatment happens in such circumstances as well.
Yep.
So what's the solution?
In fact, apart from the solution is, number one, prophylaxis is not recommended, in the country.
Prophylaxis is not recommended?
Yeah, because...
We used to have Sunday when I was a child.
So that's for pregnant women. For pregnant women, you can use chemoprophylaxis, and which must be taken as directed 16 weeks after quickening for pregnant women. But prophylaxis as a strategy is not recommended, because for many reasons, even the use of malaria medicines that way could trigger resistance to the existing malaria medicines.
But, prophylaxis, what you mean is the prevent by taking medication, right?
Yeah. If you continue taking medicines as prophylaxis, one, you could put pressure on the parasite unknowingly.
Okay.
And that could trigger resistance. So it's not even recommended. What we have...
So it's a bad idea.
Yeah, we have an effective case management system for malaria. So where you have symptoms, you have a diagnosis done, and you effectively treat it.
Okay, but talking about the schools now.
Yeah.
They do come down with malaria a lot in school. What is to be done in schools?
Thank you. So the most important thing, and it's critical, is that there has to be a school-based malaria program.
Okay.
It's even general, not for malaria. Every secondary school or hostel should have a sick bay, and the healthcare workers are properly trained. What we recommend and what is recommended is early diagnosis. Okay. And now those diagnostic tests are available. Early diagnosis and prompt treatment. We don't have problem. If you have early diagnosis and it's negative, you really want to see what other cause of fever, what other etiology or organisms are responsible,
what other underlying thing could be
for that fever, and then you can do all the further tests. But it's very important that we rule out malaria as quickly as possible, and then begin to look at for other causes of that.
How quickly can you rule out malaria?
How
effective is this test?
With the test, I can tell you in 30 minutes, you can rule out malaria at that time. And the tests, I want to say in this program, even to the healthcare workers and then to the community. The tests are good. Their performance are high.
Accurate.
You can rely on them accurate, especially for those that are procured by the federal government. So they're accurate and they should be used. And they shouldn't turn it down to say, why am I using paper tests? That you want to go to the lab. Now things are changing all over the world.
What do you mean by paper test?
They call it, oh, I want to see a test that's done by a human being. That's a typical laboratory test. You know, you call these tests, and so these are technology-based tests.
Okay.
They can come in cassettes, and they can come in strips. So when they come in strips, like pregnancy test strip, so this is paper test. I don't believe in it.
I see.
Yes. So I'm saying here that the tests are reliable, and they are first-step tests. And if symptoms persist, you do other tests. You can.
But can it be a do-it-yourself kind of thing, like the pregnancy test?
Not now, but you have people who have been trained, who have received half-a-day training can really do that. And those are possible in the schools as well.
Okay.